Hello, 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 and welcome back to twitch.tv/Epitaph Fox, and today we are continuing our playthrough of 4 Before Midnight, hopefully beating it tonight, but I'm not sure. A lovely, funny, Cinderella-esque game, where instead of your standard fairy godmother, we have a fairy godmother who is, like, on her last strike before being demoted because things just will not go right for them. And in this particular case, between the hours of midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning at the ball, a sentient sword, which was mistakenly brought to the party, goes on a killing spree, and we need to figure out the correct way to modify events as we go back in time 4 minutes before midnight, hence the title there, to stop all of the killing from happening. Number one Sifrin fan, welcome and welcome. Let's go ahead and get your roll 20 sorted out. Ooh, very unfortunate. On a 1, nothing happens. Wah, 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 wah. I heard time loop, and now I'm interested. Aw, dang it. Water time, by the way. Yes, our character basically does, like, 4 things and then leaves at midnight and returns at 1 o'clock. And if everyone is dead, we reverse time back to 4 minutes before midnight to try again. Let's go ahead and continue our saved game. Now, where we left off, we did find a way to keep everyone alive. However, the maiden that we are assisting to try and get a chance to talk to the prince was essentially blocked by the leader of the guard talking her ear off all night. So while we have saved everyone, we have not completed our fairy godmother duties. So we will be returning to the past once more. Reset the clock. This is our main character here, Ivy. It's a visual novel puzzle game. Alright, so back to square one it is. Though I'm not starting entirely from scratch here, this time around I've got that key I picked up in the future. Yes, and with that a brilliant plan just occurred to me. If I can transport objects with me from the future to the past, in theory I could amass an enormous collection of golden candlesticks, or whatever, over several hundred time loops. Then I could sell them all, retire to Elfland under an assumed identity, and never have to think about this fiasco ever again. Or I could give this key to the werewolf lady, so she can unlock the gate and swap the swords, saving me 4 minutes of meddling to fix the bee problem. Stupid moral compass, always making me do things the hard way. Yes, so the guests of this party who brought the ancient sentient sword is a vampire and werewolf duo. The vampire being like a baroness, and the werewolf being her assistant. And the werewolf is tasked with swapping out the ancient sentient sword with a, like, what's the word? Like a decorative sword, essentially. So we're trying to, like, inadvertently help werewolf lady do that. Okay, I just gotta slip this key into the werewolf's pocket while she isn't looking, and jangle. Huh? What was that? Worked like a charm. Now then, I better figure out a way to get Bee and Minois off Hilda's case. Distracting Bee would probably be the most direct way to go about it, but if I could somehow convince Minois himself to let Hilda go, then Bee wouldn't even need to factor into it. Now, which one of them should I try messing with first? Here we go, a new problem. Emma Wolf now possesses the gate key, giving her easy access to the pile of presents. That should solve the issue of the cursed sword going forward. All that remains is dealing with Bee and Minois, With a little magic, there must be some way to get one or both of them to leave Hilda alone for an hour. Now, I do have one idea of getting the head of the guard, B Plot, to go away. She talked about a like an evil, like tall ghost, and we can make that kind of happen with the knight. And so that's how I reshingled the second of the 8 rooftops over the north wing of the castle. Yeah, we don't have to read all of that again. The first part is getting them to move into the area here. Right? No. They go into the ballroom. The yearning dancer wants to dance with somebody, so we need to make the suit of armor come alive. Now, we saw that this hat appeared on the suit of armor last time as well, so how about we meddle with the coat rack? Aristocratic fashion is kind of boring, huh? The jewels and embroidery may look classy, but where's the surprise, the excitement, the drama? Truly avant-garde fashion should be blisteringly cutting edge. Literally, if necessary, like Hilda's razor-sharp glass slippers. Perhaps it's time I stirred up Eklik's sartorial scene with some magic. Magic! The clothes on the rack transform into a range of tacky costume accessories. Let's see what we've got here. A wig, an assassin's hood and cowl, a pair of novelty glasses with attached mustache. Alright, now we're talking. Nothing better for taking the world of fashion by surprise than a good disguise. Now, if only I could make them glow in the dark, we'd have a proper fashion show on our hands. Interesting. Who's that knight over there by the entrance? I don't think I've seen them around before. But, you know, they're just my type. Well, alright, it's hard to actually tell anything about them at this distance when they're wearing that armor. But at a minimum, they're seriously tall. Oh, if only I could get them to notice me. Now, we also need to do this so that they are in the room with the knight. A bigger splash from #1 Sifrin fan. Well, that cannonball you just did into the pool of internet ether has caused some water to appear in my camera feed. You gotta be more careful. Like, this is a confined space. It fills up pretty fast. So they are in the ballroom now. How have you been, #1 Sifrin fan? Now, we could mess with the books here to see if that will impact this guy here. I've been good, and Stars in Time fanfic I've been following got its final chapter today. That was a fun experience. Very nice. Oh, I'm happy to hear about that. Regrettably, I've not really been doing anything in Stars in Time related, but I have started uploading the Twitch clips from my streams as YouTube shorts and TikTok posts. And eventually I'll get those VODs edited down into YouTube videos. Eventually. It's gonna take me like a dedicated day to really like get some serious work done on those. See, I just don't know if I need to make the music poppier for the dancing. I also think I'm getting close to finishing One Shot. Oh, One Shot is that game with the purple cat, right? I don't think I've ever personally played it, but I've seen a couple of Let's Plays of it. It's a very nice story. Yeah, their name is Nico, and I'm a big fan of them. So, like, what part of the game are you at? Because I know that there's, like, 3 areas. There's, like, a starting area that's kind of, like a wasteland almost, and then there's a swamp-ish area, and then there's, like, a cityscape or something, I think. I could also be remembering some details wrong. Did we ever figure out what these happen, like what happens to these if we meddle with them? I'm in the 3rd area right now, the city. Oh, okay. We do know that the armor grabs one of these at one point. So let's mess with these. Ooh, a set of replica flags, and I think I recognize the design. These things used to get waved around an awful lot back in the late 190s, and let me tell you, a plain white flag might be bad for morale, but it's terrible for the laundry. Wouldn't be my first choice of flag to show off at a party, although I guess it wouldn't be my last choice either. The Kingdom of Gore's flag, woven out of their enemy's small intestines, is a slight best left to the imagination. Oh, a sight best left to the imagination. There we go. But either way, thanks to my good old magical powers, I have a chance to fix this mediocre choice of decor. Magic! The flags change from blank white into the yellow and red standards of Eclick and Darkwood. There we go, a nice normal pair of flags for a nice normal evening at the castle. Nothing amiss here. Well, nothing except for the socio-political concerns regarding the monarchy's use of flags as authoritarian symbols to normalize their autocracy. But fixing Eclick's feudal government is way outside my skill set. I'm just a miracle worker after all. And there's the clock striking midnight. We need to leave. Another 4 spells, another 12 chimes. If nothing else, at least it's consistent. The part where none of it works out in the end could stand to be a little less consistent, though. Fingers crossed. Okay, people are alive. That's a good sign. Now that's a welcome sight. Everyone's alive, and I didn't even have to do anything. Anything aside from travel back in time, avert a mass murder, steal an important key, and subtly nudge a werewolf into doing my work for me. Now let's go see what fruits of my grueling non-labors have bore while I've been out. Well, out with it, Emma. Did you successfully swap the swords, or are we going to have to add potential regicide to the list of your innumerable failures? So first of all, ma'am, not to criticize, but I feel innumerable is being a little uncharitable, given my otherwise fairly solid record in your service. I admit the business with the swamp monster was not my best performance, but I don't forget about the time with the ghost pirates when I... Enough, did you do it or not? Yes, ma'am, I've got the baleful blade of blood murder right here. Want to drink blood? What a vile little thing. Thirsting for blood I can understand, but you don't hear me winging about it, do you? Be a good girl, Emma, and go throw that wretch in the dirt or the lake or somewhere outside, would you? We can retrieve it again on our way out. Wait, but don't you want to hear about how I retrieved it in the first place? It's a pretty good story, if I'm being frank, ma'am. There's a bit of subterfuge, some clever puzzle-solving, a close shave, if you will, with the baleful blade. At the end, I even managed to... Oh, riveting, I'm sure, Emma. Now get back to your actual job. Yes, ma'am. Well, even if the Countess doesn't care, you'll listen to my story, won't you, baleful blade of blood murder? Want to drink blood? Do you not want to listen to boring story? Right, so into the lake you go then. So it looks like Prince Felix still didn't meet up with Hilda. Another D20 roll. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Number 9 seems to be getting rolled a lot lately. All right, number 1, Siffrin fan. I am going to think of a number between 1 and 9, including 1 and 9. If you can guess the number correctly, you get 1,000 copper pieces. I have decided on the number. Amazing! You got it! Oh, that's the first time that's happened. That's awesome. Awesome. Congrats! So it looks like he put on the, like, mustache glasses and he grabbed the flag. I can contain it no longer. This great itching upon my nose is more than my earthly frame can endure. Though it aggrieves my very soul, it seems I must break my solemn oaths and achoo. Much improved. Okay, so all of these things will lead to the suit of armor looking like this guy up here. I don't think we necessarily need to do this in this particular problem set, but now we know how that happens. They are still talking, unfortunately, which is what we wanted to avoid, but... Okay, spill the beans, Hilda. What sort of trouble did you wind up in this time? Ivy, you really did come back. But I think it's already over for me. There's this guard who's been following me, and I can't seem to get away from her. Yeah, I know, and I'm still working out how to throw her off your trail. You're the one who just spent an hour stuck together with her. Any ideas? She does seem easily spooked, like when we started talking about the decapitated dragoon. Oh, and there was this terrible clown tapestry that gave both of us the creeps, which is how we ended up in here. To be fair, I think that tapestry would spook just about anyone. Which is why I'm going to prevent it from ever having existed. Catch you in an hour, more or less. So maybe we don't want her to be in here? Yeah, knight with no noggin. One more time. Presumably, each doll would have to contain a portal to the problem doll pocket dimension in order to account for the discrepancy in relative volumes. Which would mean you could use the problem dolls like bags of holding and... Wait, hold on. I feel like I'm getting off track here. How do we knock off the knight's helmet, then? We definitely need to meddle with the suit of armor. Like, that's part of it. You know, apparently there's this whole convoluted terminological system to how you're supposed to describe the heraldry in a coat of arms. If I wanted to describe this one, it'd be something about quarterlies and armed sables charging rampant at ghouls or the like. Which, all of that sounds like a bunch of nonsense to me. Let's see if we can't simplify things a little here. Voila! The coat of arms reverts to an older design flanked by crossed swords. There we go, 3 concentric red circles over white. Nice, tidy, and easy to remember. And as an added bonus, now the shield can double as a dartboard. And now there are swords available. Maybe we do need the music to be faster. Let's maybe LP92. Good evening, good evening. How are you doing? Good, glad I finished my trip before dinner, because it's pouring out where I am. Very lucky for you regarding getting back in time to get out of the rain. We had some rain earlier. It was a severe thunderstorm watch for an hour, but we only really got rain for like 10 minutes. And it was heavy rain, too. I was hoping it would stick around for longer. You know what, let's get the banana peel in here. Let's see if that works out, because maybe they'll be dancing and the the knight will fall down and have its head come off or something. I don't know. It's awfully convenient that I don't have to keep unlocking that door every single time I return to the past. Feels kind of arbitrary, but arbitrary in a way that directly benefits me, so who am I to complain? What did you see today? The litter in the ballroom. And now there's an orange peel on the ballroom floor. What wonderful. Our resident litter bug just doesn't know when to stop, does he? I mean, I guess an orange peel is at least less hazardous than a banana peel, but why leave a peel on the ground at all? It's not as though we haven't provided adequate wastebaskets throughout the Great Hall expressly for that purpose. If the man would just look around, he'd find a suitable receptacle for his garbage right there in the... Note to self, next year, remember to buy wastebaskets. Alright, so the statue got destroyed. Which we expected to happen because of the dancing. That banana peel just came at me out of nowhere. I'm not sure sorry will do us much good if we've gone and offended the gods. Maybe if we say a couple prayers, Linera will forgive us? Thunder. Right, so straight to the temple after the party then, dear. So they are still here. A sword is missing, though. Good to know. I tried to talk to Felix, I swear, but this guard's been pinning me down with a non-stop barrage of meaningless questions and stories. And you're too polite to interrupt. Got it. Well, it wouldn't be very nice of me to cut her off. Unfortunately, I don't know any spells to release you from the shackles of social etiquette, so I guess we're gonna have to call this attempt a wash too. You mean there's nothing we can do? There's one thing, but it's kind of complicated to explain. Basically, sit tight for a minute, wait for the cold embrace of unexistence, and I'll have things back to normal in no time. Alright, if you say so, I'll... Wait, the cold embrace of unexistence? So... He steals a sword. Time for a thing taker loot breakdown. Let's see what we pulled tonight. First off, there's this sweet sword I nabbed off of a coat of arms. Of course, Mom doesn't let me have swords, so I guess I've got to stuff this one under my bed when I get home. Second, this garlic spread from over in the mezzanine, which is gonna go great with the shank of lamb I stuffed in my pocket earlier. The jar's kind of bulky, though, so maybe I'll just dip the lamb in it now and eat it on the ride back. And last is this hat from the coat rack. It's actually my hat, but I'm going to let people assume that I stole it. Got a reputation to build, you know? Gotta love party favors. Ooh, and maybe I should try grabbing that flag there next. So he steals a sword. This thing still grabs a flag. And thus ends my reading for this evening. What a remarkable paragraph that was, and most thorough mental exercise. Nothing stretches the old gray matter like a pleasant jaunt through several dozen labyrinthine nested subordinate clauses. Though I admit I am rather grateful this edition added punctuation. Alright, so we definitely gotta, like, occupy him with the book in some way. Still not sure what we need to do to make the knight headless. Huh. Sure is a good thing us fairies don't have a physical need for sleep, because I don't think I'm going to be getting much in the way of rest anytime soon. Though, come to think of it, I guess there's nothing stopping me from just finding a comfy spot outside and taking a few short naps for a couple cycles or so. Not much risk of oversleeping either. At this point, I feel like I could hear that clock chiming even in my dreams. Let's take a look at a hint. B is a seasoned warrior, but she can't handle horror. A brush with a demonic clown might send her running, but encountering an actual ghost could knock her out cold. The suit of armor in the entrance would bear a striking resemblance to the legendary Knight with No Noggin, if only it were headless, but a slip on a banana peel might solve that. Oh, okay. So maybe we have the knight slip on the banana peel and not the dancers. That sounds good. And we should get them over there with that art. But let's go ahead and mess with the book first. I suppose everything would be a bit stuffy and dusty in a royal palace, but these books seem especially dry. If this is all Felix and Maxie had to read growing up, I feel sorry for them. For instance, the Royal Eclecian Annals? I can't say I've ever read any history books when I was slightly less old ageless and immortal being, but I think I turned out okay. Why don't we get a little fresh reading material in here? Please and thank you. A new set of books magically replaces the old ones. Always glad to do my part in promoting childhood literacy. Now then, which book to read? Perhaps I should start with the top of the stack with The Secret Mermaid Truth Revealed? And even now, they have their fishy claws pressed to the throat of Eclec. Figurative clause, probably, but xenobiology can get kind of weird, you know? Anyway, the throat. Yes, the thirsty, thirsty throat of a clique. For you see, the mermaids have used their dark and twisted alchemy to render a clique addicted to their vile substances. Yes, that's right, this kingdom is addicted to the mermaid's greatest export, and our dependence on it is the cause of every earthly woe imaginable. It's time we face the fact that we are addicted to water. Bum, bum, bum! Perhaps I'll go look for that cheese and wine after all. So that gets him to move. Okay. Where does he go, though? Oh, he comes in here. I'll have to get to the bottom of this business with the Royal Library first thing in the morning. To think that such unsuitable reading material made it into the collection sends a chill up my spine. If that travesty passed unnoticed, what else may have slipped in without my knowledge? Might have there been tampering with the paintings in the Royal Portrait Hall, shenanigans in the Royal Armory, surreptitious revisions to a clique's yearly cabbage census? I shall have to double the security around here, lest anything else transpire beneath my very nose. And given how my vision has been lately, for things transpiring any further away than my nose, I may need to acquire a pair spectacles. Eep, is that? Oh no, if he catches me, I'm done for. Though to be fair, I've never actually spoken to him before. Maybe he's not as stern as Felix says he is? And Ma and Pa always tell me I should try talking through my problems instead of running away from them. Okay, I've made up my mind. I'm going to go over and introduce myself to Minuet and explain everything to him. I'm sure we can have a reasonable discussion together. I can do this. I can totally do... Hey, imposter lady, what are you staring at? Is it the worm demon? Please tell me it's not the worm demon. I've seen that guy way too much down in the castle dungeon. Oh, and speaking of dungeons, do you prefer your cell with the bars on the wall like normal or on the roof, oubliette style? Just asking, hypothetically, you know. I can't do this, I can't do this. Oh, it scares him too. Okay. It doesn't seem like anyone wants to stick around. If I use magic to teleport Castle Elfinor to the next time zone west of here, that would technically buy me an extra hour? Assuming the magic actually works right and doesn't throw me next time zone east instead. And that the castle makes it there in one piece with everyone in it, and that the Fairyland Board of Land Use and Development doesn't cite me into oblivion for zoning violations. Maybe I'll just stick to my 4 minutes for now. How'd we do? Alright, he's still alone. So the thrill of seeing everyone not dead kinda wears off after a couple loops or so. Almost like not being dead is the natural state of living people, and the gruesome scenario I had to witness earlier this evening was a horrifying outlier that no one should ever have to endure. Gosh, it sure is great to see everyone alive again! So yeah, he steals a laurel and a hat. And we can just change the laurel into a sword. Where's, Oh, he's over here now. The strike of one. Has this ball finally come to a close? Perhaps it's my old age catching up to me, but I don't remember these affairs being quite so wearying. Though I also don't remember them being quite so devoid of alcohol, nor the reading material being quite so depraved. A sorry display for this once proud house of ours. Ah, but such is the way of time's embrace, both upon this kingdom and upon myself, and all the disapproval one in the world cannot lift, even one of its 2 heavy fingers. Who am I to wrestle with the immutable? The best that I may do is sit and rest my tired bones, that I might rise again in the morning. Though sitting would certainly be more easily done if someone had thought to place a chair or 2 in the Great Hall. That doesn't help me at all. No new complaints. Okay, Hilda, why the long face? For efficiency's sake, please answer in 3 or fewer words. Oh, clown guard followed? Got it. I'll file that under under ticket 8-4 and get back to you once it's solved. Catch you later, Hilda. I've got some troubleshooting to do. Alright, so that wasn't the solution either. But I think I'm close. Not sure I'm ever going to get used to the feeling of being rammed through the fabric of space-time like a lemon into a juicer. But at least I can turn myself into space-time pulp on command now, so that's something. Well, it does seem like we need to move him from here. In some way. It's basically the right time of year for the fallback part of it, and I'm sure of all of Euclid's garbage farmers and whatnot would love the switch. Teleporting the castle across time zones probably won't work, but if I somehow manage to convince Mr. Minuit to enact daylight savings time, could that net me another hour? Though this would require me to talk to Minuit, so I'd need to brush up on my disguise magic first. Let's see, for starters, maybe summon mask. Why did I think this was a good idea? Alright. That sure was a pleasant jaunt through the castle grounds just now. No cursed swords, no vampires and werewolves, no meddling ministers and guards, and no mortifyingly awkward attempts at teenage courtship. On the other hand, that nightmarish excuse for a horse is still out there staring at me. Not to mention the carriage is out there too, and it's getting pretty irate at being stuck as an inanimate object. So maybe I'll just stick to fluttering around the rooftops next time. What do you got to say here, now that we've given you a new hat? The stick I graphed off the coat of arms. Okay, it's just a stick, but it's pretty neat as far as sticks go. So I'm still going to call that a win. Second, this garlic spread from over in the mezzanine, which is going to go great with the shank of lamb. Cowl from the coat rack, which makes me look super dark and mysterious and dangerous. Perfect for a creature of the phantasmal night, such as myself. Wish it came in black, though. Gotta love party favors. Oh, and maybe I should try grabbing that flag there next. Maybe I should mess with these 3 things, and then the flag afterwards as well. Because that's like a 4-item kind of thing that we're seeing here. Oh, this is different. Do you have anything else to say? No. Check on Hilda. So, that whole talking to Felix thing didn't go so hot, huh? Oh, Ivy, you're back. It didn't go very hot at all, no. I've never even got close to Felix before the Archminister caught me, and, well... Yeah, I get the picture. And here I thought that disguise was foolproof too. Guess it's back to the drawing board. What should I do, Ivy? Everything's gone wrong, and... Relax, Hilda. It'll be fine. Not quite sure when exactly, but I didn't get us this far by slacking off. Well, maybe partly by slacking off. Caught the mole. Princess Brynhilda, what a pleasure to meet you face to face, but our introduction shall have to wait a moment. Plot! You'd best have good explanation for this intrusion. I thought I told you to run interference on Brynhilda covertly. Covertly? That's like overtly, but with 2 people, right? I suppose dealing with this matter directly may have been unavoidable at the end. So then, Princess Brynhilda of the Totally Real Isles, pray tell, what brings you to Castle Elfnor in this otherwise fine evening? Funny story about that, actually, sir. I'd love to explain, but it's late, and... No, do continue, I insist. After all, none of us are going anywhere, are we? And I have all the patience in the world. Oh, jeez. Alright. Repeatedly and willfully violating one of the 3 cardinal laws of time travel isn't exactly the daredevil thrill I thought it'd be. Guess there's still 2 other rules I could break while I'm at it, though. Mrs. Epitaph Fox, thank you very much for the splash. Unfortunately, it does nothing, but it does let me know that you're here. Telling other people about the future, I kind of did that already with the murder sword, and it wasn't all that exciting either. So that just leaves betting on sporting events. Ah, if only Prince Felix had decided to host a jousting tournament for his birthday instead of a ball. Alright, we're gonna mess with all of the stuff that the thief is going to be dealing with. Scheme to gain an additional time constant number 4. Hit clock with hammer until it stops ticking. It's not like that stops the passage of time or anything, but if the only clock in the room is busted, could anyone really fault me for sticking around after hours? And the chance to take some of my frustrations out on the clock is the icing on the figurative cake. Sometimes you just gotta shoot the messenger, you know? Of course, the problem with this plan is that I can't travel back in time if the clock's broken. And I'm definitely not ready to face permanent consequences for my actions just yet. Looks like you win this round, clock. Alright, how'd we do? Vampire and werewolf lurking sketchily by the door, check. Suit of armor still excessively tall, check. Felix moping about all by himself, not check. Wait, is that Hilda with him? Could they finally have... So, yeah. Honestly, I don't know why I expected any better from those 2. I guess I'd better get to the bottom of this. Well, firstly, I want to check in with the thief. Because we did something, obviously. First off, sweet sword. Second is the sick jar of poison dropped over in the mezzanine. Dad said I can't play with poison until I'm 16, but he's not the boss of me. He's just the boss of the rest of several thousand other people across the earldom of Viscondia. And last, this cowl from the coat rack, which makes me look super dark and mysterious and dangerous. Perfect for a creature of the phantasmal night, such as myself. Wish it came in black, though. Gotta love party favors. Maybe I should try grabbing the flag next. So the flag didn't end up doing anything. Panda, welcome in, welcome. Doing good over here, thank you. Trying to beat this puzzle game here. So far we're doing okay, though. Let's eavesdrop on the stately pair. Boss, quick, get behind me. And what's all this about, plot? I thought my orders to trail after our good princess were more than explicit enough, even for you. Okay, so don't panic, but I think someone's trying to kill you, like right now. As soon as I realized what was going on, I ditched Princess so-and-so and ran straight over, and gosh, am I lucky I did. It looks like I got here just in time. Oh, she thought the guy gathering the sword and the poison were trying to kill the Archminister. That's funny. Glad to hear. Yeah. How about you? How's your day going? It's gotta be like near midnight or past midnight for you, right? Nonsense plot. Why would anyone here wish to, would wish to assassinate me? I have no fondness for making enemies, and I'll have you know my approval rating recently shot into the double digits. I'm serious, boss. You're in the mortal danger. One of those party guests is a cold-blooded assassin, and you're his next victim. See that guy standing over there scheming? The guy with the crimson cowl and skull brooch? That's him. It's almost 1 o'clock for you. Okay. Wide awake. All the other kids at the academy are gonna flip when they see the cool loot I swiped. I'll be so cool, maybe they'll even stop bringing up the lobster incident. The lobster incident? A menace to society. A strange lad with even stranger taste in headwear, I admit, but nothing unduly concerning. A true student of subterfuge would dress far more inconspicuously, I should think. An assassin running amok in a brightly colored hood? What a preposterous notion. That's just what he wants you to think. It's so conspicuous. You'd never even guess he was the assassin. It's the perfect disguise. And look, he's carrying around a sword and a bottle of poison. What else could those be for except murder? Or an amateur production of Hamlet. But probably murder. That is most curious. I'm most certain that I expressly forbade the bearing of arms within the Great Hall without special dispensation. And I certainly don't remember granting permission for anyone to use poison at this specific event. The next scheduled poisoning's not for another 6 weeks. This guy uses so many big words, it's hard to read his text sometimes. But wait, there's more. There's one more final piece of evidence that exposes his evil schemes for what they are. See that pendant he's standing underneath? Oh, so I did need to change the flag. Oh, okay. Yes, and what of it? That's the biggest red flag of them all. Alright, I may have set myself up for that one. We did change... Yeah, it's a red flag. That's funny. That's funny. It seems like they're in the middle of something. I wonder what they're talking about. It, sure has been a lovely evening. Specifically, the last 5 minutes of it, since the preceding hours were mostly not as good. Bad, even. Really bad. Oh, but not because of anything related to you. Haha, yes. I feel the same way. About the last 5 minutes, that is. Namely, that they were good on account of you being in them. Oh, Felix. Oh no, was that too direct? Or is this about me being a bad host? How could I have let her have a bad time at my birthday party? Ah, I've gone and put my foot in it now. He's facing away from me. That's not good, right? Should I have said something else in response? I thought he was being sweet, but what if I was misreading things? I've ruined everything, haven't I? They are so awkward. Hilda, you managed to meet Felix after all. That's your wish come true, right? Everything's fine now? For legal purposes, I need you to say yes so I can file this with the council as a success. I'm doomed, Ivy! That's a no, I take it. That guard finally left me alone when she ran off to check on the Archminister, but by then the ball was already almost over. We've barely had 5 minutes to talk, and I can just tell that I've ruined everything. If I'd just gone to see him earlier. But what's the use? It's hopeless. I'm hopeless. I wish I could just go home and forget all about this. I'm sure he'd be happier without me. I think I need some time to myself. I'll meet you back at the carriage when this is all over. Oh, poor Hilda. I guess that plan was a flop as well, huh? After all that work getting those two together, it turns out they've got about as much chemistry together as 2 cups of water. In fairy magic, time travel, and a deus ex machina aren't enough to grant this wish, I don't know what is. But come to think of it, that thing Hilda just said, I wish I could just go home and forget all about this. That's a wish too, isn't it? A wish that I could actually grant. I've got the horse and carriage all set, so all I need to do is brush up on mind wipe magic, and I'll be able to tell the council I fulfilled 2/3 of Hilda's wishes with no trouble. That would solve this predicament, wouldn't it? That wouldn't solve anything. If that's you lurking there narrating at me, Mr. Curtain Hermit, I don't remember asking for your opinion on the matter. Just so we're clear, I do have a name, and if you're going to keep forcing me to self-insert into the narrative to fix your problems, you could at least learn it. Ahem. I am he whom they call the immortal Plum-Enommed, the brightest star of Eclipse literary canon. And though my body of works has thus far been limited to traditionally prose and poetry, tonight you have the honor of participating in the first of its kind live-action literary experiment narrated by yours truly. Plum enumed? What is that supposed to be a pun name of? Plum enumed. Yes, quite shocking to meet such an illustrious figure as myself in the flesh, I know. I get that a lot. You must be wondering how it is that I'm standing here before you, alive and well, centuries after my alleged and much spoken of death, but that's... Wait, was I supposed to know who you are? Just go read one of my books when you have a chance. There's a copy in the stairway, and you're welcome in advance. But for now, I'll dispense with my backstory, fascinating though it may be, and cut to the point. You can't just abandon Hilda here, what were you thinking? To do so would be completely and irreparably wrong, and with dire consequences. Okay, I mean, I do feel really bad about leaving Hilda in the lurch like this, but I did the best I could, alright? So if this is some sort of ethics guilt trip thing you're pulling, save it. I can torture myself with regret perfectly well, thank you. Ethics? Regret? Oh goodness, no, I couldn't care less about that nonsense. What's wrong here is what you're doing to my intricately crafted plot structure. We're only at the midpoint here. The all is lost lull isn't due until the next end of the next act. There's a very firm order in which this story must unfold, and I won't abide by this sort of plot derailment. You think I went through all the trouble of finding a suitable couple, setting up all these props and subplots in the castle, and weaving it all together into a coherent narrative just so you could throw it all out the window? Wait, what? Plot structure? Narrative? This whole nightmare of an evening I've been through, you're the one responsible for everything? I always leave a little room for a plot to develop naturally, but yes, everything that's unfolded here has been more or less according to my outline. Thrilling, isn't it? You almost got everyone here killed. Alright, so that part was an accident, but as you can see, they all got better. Because I fixed it. Ah, but you see, you only fixed it because I arranged for you to do so. Indeed, this whole evening has transpired only because I willed it thus. Through the power of this magical book I hold, carefully composed over centuries of painstaking arcane research, the very fabric of reality is but a blank page beneath my quill. And for a godlike being such as myself to compose so grand a tale, what other medium would be suitable? Ugh. I don't know, how about paper? Have a little ambition, Ivy. Glory was never won except in pursuit of a worthy goal. A worthy goal like plagiarizing from Cinderella? Improving on Cinderella, I think you mean. My contribution to literature will be leagues superior to that childish tripe. But it's literally the same story. The fairy godparent, the horse and carriage, the glass slippers, the ball. Yes, except for the fact that Cinderella is incredibly boring. The closest it comes to narrative tension is to when she loses her slipper, and that resolves after, what, 1 page? And by a borderline deus ex machina at that. But when you're finished with my version of Cinderella, which for legal reasons we'll be calling Brynhilda, it's going to leave Cinderella in the dust where she belongs. My story has drama, attempted murder, conspiracies, time travel, vampires, and not to mention a devilishly handsome narrator with a charming sense of humor. And for that reason, my little green friend, that I simply cannot permit you to stop here. One way or another, you and I are going to see this story through to its rightful conclusion. Do you seriously think I'm about to go along with whatever it is you're planning? Oh? But why wouldn't you? You were content to go along with my outline before I revealed it to you, weren't you? And ultimately, this story would be to everyone's benefit. You, me, Hilda, Felix, we all need that happily ever after, don't we? I mean, I guess so. Then do as I tell you, and everything will turn out fine in the end. That's a better deal than aimlessly struggling against destiny, I should think. Are we in accord? Alright, fine. But only until the end of the story. After that, you're done here. Believe me, I have no intention of sticking around in this dump any longer than necessary. Now then, regarding your next steps, as loath as I am to self-insert into my own work, I admit we may be backed into something of a corner here, plot-wise. But nothing a little authorial nudge in the right direction won't fix. However, this book's reality warping magic is some confoundingly complicated stuff, so I'm going to need a minute or two to compose an incantation. On which note, if you happen to know a useful word that rhymes with stood, now would be a lovely time. Food? Stood and food? Tell me you're not serious. If I try any of that half-rhyming funny business in my incantation, this book will literally explode. Pick another one. Good? I can make it work. As Ivy did the clock draw near, by chance assistance did appear, for there where Princept Maxie stood, who'd come to help and fix stuff good. What? Fix stuff good? Improv is hard, alright? But at any rate, I think we've spent enough time chatting. I'm reasonably confident you can figure things out from on your own from here, so you and I had both best be on our respective ways. I'll meet you back here an hour ago, after you've had your meeting with the Princept at the clock. Till then, cheers! Yeah, I hate him already. And I've got this terrible feeling that the dreadfully busy part of the evening has only just now started. So we gotta do something with Maxie. Cause for alarm. I've been trying not to stare, but that boy by the stairway is an assassin, right? It's not just my imagination. Suspicious cowl, unsheathed rapier, bottle of poison. These aren't things normal people just carry around. The only way that kid could raise any more red flags is if he were walking around waving an actual red flag and stabbing people. Someone has definitely got to apprehend that maniac before he has a chance to kill. Specifically someone who's not me. So Maxie was here. Where is Maxie now? He's just not even here anymore. That's weird. I guess we go back in time. Alright, so if Prong or whatever his name is... Plum. So if Curtain Man wasn't just taking me for a ride, then I should be getting a visit from the Princept any minute now. I hate waiting. Hey, Fairy. Perfect timing, just the person I wanted to see. Though the fact that you can see me is a little strange. I could swear I got my invisibility running earlier. I don't know about invisibility, but I mean, I've been watching you all evening, and you're pretty easy to track with all that glitter you're throwing everywhere? I see. Well, I guess this isn't entirely surprising, given that the only ones who could see fairies are kids and the pure of heart. That's me, alright. Princept Maxie, the most pure and cherubic. So, kid, what did you want to talk to me about? It's about my brother Felix. He's got himself all worked up because he's worried about Hilda rejecting him, or something pathetic like that. Not that she's much better off. I'm sure you've noticed how unbearably awkward they are together. Tell me about it. Though if those two knew how to communicate on their own, I'd guess I'd be out of a job. You're Hilda's fairy godparent, right? I saw how hard you're working to fix things for her and Felix, and well, I want to help too. You know, kid, that actually did sound pretty pure of heart just now. But even so, I'm not actually sure what you can do here. See, I've been traveling back in time over and over all evening, trying to set things right, and when we're done here, I'm gonna have to rewind it again. Once I do, we'll reset to 4 minutes to midnight, and you're not gonna remember any of this. You won't even know who I am. But you'll remember all of this, won't you? Obviously, or else I couldn't have explained it to you. So for example, if I gave you a secret password to tell my past self, you'd be able to use it to convince me to help you out. Oh, I like where you're going with this. And then past you could keep that guard preoccupied for me, giving me a chance to shove Felix and Hilda together. Mildly inconveniencing B with shenanigans for a good cause, I'd be game for that in any timeline. That settles it. When you get back to the past, tell my past self the secret password, and explain the plan. I doubt I'll need much convincing. Oh, and the password is whisper, whisper, whisper. Welcome and welcome! Glitch Panda, welcome! Thank you so much for the raid! How was your stream? Oh, very kind of you. Let's give a shout out, because I gotta remember that shout outs are a thing and people appreciate them. The Jester. What's the Jester? We are playing 4 Before Midnight, a visual novel puzzle game that takes the basic concept of Cinderella and throws it on its head in wacky, zany ways. It was good. It's a weird, creepy clown game. Well, I mean, The Jester definitely sounds like a weird, creepy clown type of title. I've got a few creepy games that I'm kind of like holding off for until October. I should probably run them by you in case you've heard of any of them. The main one is called The Cabin Factory. That's kind of like the big one I purchased specifically for the Halloween stream for 2025. I'll have to actually like look up the names of the other ones because they're kind of like indie games from an Itch.io bundle that look like they're like spooky-esque or spooky related. But The Cabin Factory, it's like a procedurally generated game where you are working in a factory where like you press a button and then a cabin will like come into your warehouse and get dropped off. And you need to go into the cabin and verify if it is haunted or not. And if it is haunted, you have to mark it for like destruction. So you're basically like a factory foreman, but you're trying to determine if a cabin is haunted or not. Haven't played it, but I've seen gameplays of it. It's very like properly like jump scary, which is a type of game I've never really streamed before, and I think it's perfect for, you know, spooky times. I remember I saw it being advertised on TikTok like a year ago, and I'm like, I have to get that. Got it. It's been a pleasure conniving with you, Princept. The pleasure's all mine, pal. Now get a move on, and I'll catch you later. Or, earlier. Reverse time! Okay. We're back in the past, and this time I've got a secret password. Better hurry and find Maxie before I forget it. Though, considering the password, even I would have trouble messing that up. Glitch raid incoming. Glitch raid already here, but welcome in, Warwolves. It looks like a good game. I'll have to play it. Hello, hello, welcome in, welcome. How are you all doing? This is not my normal stream time, by the way. Normally on Sundays, I'm streaming at 7:30 a.m., like 12 hours earlier than normal. We had a little bit of a busy morning related to one of our pets this morning, so it was you know what, let me move stream to later in the evening. Although for you guys, at least the Warwolves UK account, as well as Amanda Panda, because we have two pandas, I need to indicate which one. It's like 1 o'clock by you guys, or like 1:06 p.m. or a.m. Yeah, the dog is okay. Thankfully, the problem is not with our dog, but it's our cat. She hasn't been eating the past few days. I don't really want to like go into it too much because a lot of it is like medical stuff. But she's been having issues that we've been addressing, and now a new issue has come up, and we had an appointment a couple weeks ago, and she has her next appointment tomorrow, but she hasn't really been eating for the past couple days. So today we went and got, like, meat-flavored or meat-based baby food to kind of just, like, syringe into her mouth so that she actually has something in her system to keep her going. Hopefully we learn good things at the appointment tomorrow, but it's a waiting game until then. Yeah, I hope she gets better too. It's just she has something in her mouth that's causing her pain, and because she's in pain, she's not eating. And you know, we were addressing some of her other problems with adding things to her food and giving her medication. And if she's not eating, then we can't give her those things either. So that's why it's like, if I get into it, it's a whole thing to really, like, describe everything that's happening. But basically, not good stuff happening. So this morning, I was like, the stream is not important. Let's go to the store, buy the baby food so we can get food in her somehow. And I will just stream later. And here we are. Princeps Maxi, I come bearing an important message. Whoa, it's the little green fairy. I thought you were busy flapping around uselessly and sparkling or whatever. What do you want from me? First, those sparkles were very important fairy business beyond mortal comprehension. I'll have you know. And second, and probably more to the point, I'm also a time traveler from the future who's come back to stop Prince Felix and Hilda from having a pretty awful night. Hilda? You mean his pen pal? She actually showed up? She did, but I need your help to get her to Felix. Me and your future self came up with a plan for that, and I was hoping you'd lend me a hand with it. I don't know, this time travel stuff sounds kinda sketchy. If anyone's dumb enough to take you at your word for it, well, I've got an earldom to sell them. I know a demonic murder sword who'd probably take you up on that. Fortunately, I thought of this sort of scenario years ago, and have a secret password prepared for such an occasion. If you're for real, then my future self would have told it to you. Has anyone ever done something similar where you've come up with, like, if I ever met my future self or something, I have, like, a password, or like, they would have to tell me something that only I would know for me to believe them or something? I don't think I've ever, like, committed to memory anything like that for myself personally, but I've definitely been like, here are a few things that I feel like they would need to tell me for me to know that they're from the future, kind of thing. Definitely nothing that I've been like, I remember explicitly what those things are. Password is pineapple. Good to know. I would have to assume it's my doppelganger, and we must fight to the death. I guess your future self then would be like, I know you're gonna say that I'm your doppelganger and we need to fight to the death, but let's not do that. Of course, the password is cake. Really? Cake is your password? Come on. You know, I should probably have picked a password that's harder to guess. I'm gonna need a little more convincing than that. Look, if you go along with my plan, you'll get to annoy B all evening, and Felix will stop moping around all the time. Probably. Sounds like something my doppelganger would say. Okay, that's good enough for me. So where do we start? Think you can distract B for an hour or so? Watch and learn, pal. Watch and learn. With Princeps Maxi keeping B plot distracted, that solves the second obstacle of the evening. Free from B's interference, Hilda has successfully reunited with Prince Felix, and now the only thing that could keep the two from a lovely evening together is themselves. Given that it's Hilda and Felix, perhaps it wouldn't hurt to check in on them. So they are together now, finally. What a relief it is to see those two together at the start of the evening. And now that I've managed to unite them, I guess this will be the last loop. These two can have their happily ever after, Plum can call it a wrap, and I can avoid getting fired. Everyone wins! Nothing left to do but kick back, relax, and relentlessly eavesdrop on our happy couple to make sure everything's going smoothly. I wonder what sort of romantic conversation they're having. I'm so glad you were able to make it after all, Hilda. I was worried for a bit there. Yes, me too. It was, not especially easy. Sneaking was involved, partially. And actually, I feel like the Archminister might have been trying to have me arrested. Oh no, I've been afraid he would. He doesn't really approve of me fraternizing with those he hasn't personally investigated. On account of which, I haven't actually told him, you know, about us. Oh right, of course. I'm an outsider after all. I know I don't fit in here. I accidentally made the atmosphere way too heavy. We'll be stuck making gloomy small talk forever at this rate. I need to lighten the mood. Oh no, I went and stuck my foot in my mouth. And she hates it here. Think, Felix, how can you make her feel more at home? Quick, change topics! This is unrelated, but I notice you sure have a lot of seagulls around here. Yes, seagulls! That is a normal and pleasant conversation topic! Always flying around outside the Great Hall, those seagulls. Can't get rid of them, and we've hired an awful lot of Pied Pipers. I like seagulls, actually. My family keeps one as a pet back in Waterport. His name is Lewis. We feed him the fish scraps off of the dinner table sometimes. We normally don't let him inside, though. He, poops on us. A lot. Oh no, that was callous of me. She must think I'm some sort of seagull-hating tyrant. Why did I have to go and tell him about Lewis? Everything's so fancy here. No one wants to hear about some fishmonger yapping about bird poop. I must look like a complete weirdo right now. They're honestly perfect for each other. Poor Ivy. Oh boy, I can see pretty well where this is going. No kidding. A love story's got to have a little romantic tension, but I might have overshot with these two. Turns out awkward mumbling doesn't make for the most breathtaking dialogue. A technical lesson I'll have to remember for next time. Oh, you're still here. So, you're gonna fix this too, right? Say a little magic rhyme and poof, problem solved? Good heavens, no! I mean, I could, yes, but this little authorial intrusion has already transgressed far enough. For the sake of the narrative, this one's in your court, champ. You'll figure something out, I'm sure. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some business to attend to behind the curtains. We'll be in touch. Wow, real helpful there. But I guess I was always going to have to deal with this myself one way or another. Now then, it seems like the issue here is that no matter how much time these two have together, they're both too tangled up in their own anxieties to actually have a proper talk with each other. What these two need is something to ease their concerns, though I'm not sure exactly what. Should I try to deal with Hilda's homesickness first? See if I can bring her a little slice of home in Castle Elifnor? Or should I try to smooth things over between the two of them and Minwa so that Felix can stop fretting about getting caught? Looks like I've still got some work to do. Well, if we change the food, it'll become a fish, and that might make Hilda more at home? Maybe? So, B, I've been wondering, Your Highnessty, if this is about Henway again, maybe it could wait for later? I gotta know, what's B short for anyway? Is it Beatrice or Bernadetta? Or maybe Beathrin? Beathrin? Belinda, actually, like my sister, Lucinda. Oh, you have a sister. One older sister who you've met multiple times. Like she babysat you literally last week. No disrespect, Your Highnessty, but aren't you acting kind of weird? Like you're asking me a bunch of super unnecessary questions just to try and distract me from nothing weird going on here at all. Haha, nope. Just some totally normal joking around with my favorite captain of the guard. Oh, well, okay, if that's the case, then I'm sorry to spoil the fun, but I really gotta go and keep tabs on, hey, would you look at that? A painting I haven't scribbled down for comedic effect. Looks like I'm gonna have to give those clowns some regular human noses circa immediately. Oh, the sus. Wait, no, you can't do that. Your Highness, you get back here. So it's funny that B plot mentions like asking unnecessary questions, because that's exactly what she was doing to Hilda before. So I think we still need to keep this guy distracted. So if we move him into this room with messing with the book, what changes that for the Princept Maxi? Alright, this is all the same text as before. Okay, nothing new between them, but I could probably get all of them to go into the actual ballroom. It doesn't seem like anyone wants to stick around. Oh, wait, where did they go? Okay, so they moved over here. Where did the other guy go? Oh, he went in here. Felix, I don't want to alarm you, but over there, that's Minister Minuet, isn't it? Ah, it is. I thought I left a pile of books next to him. He'd be too busy reading to interfere. What's he doing here? And he's looking right at us. Oh, this is bad. Is he going to throw me in the castle dungeon? I'm too young to get thrown in the castle dungeon. It's more of an oubliette, really. Is that worse? Maybe? Wait, but maybe this is an opportunity. I suspect that Minuet's only hostile towards you because he thinks you might be dangerous. If you could somehow prove to him that you're a good person, maybe he'd change his mind about you. That's perfect. Could I, cut you a slice of cake? Or open a jar of garlic jam for you? Wait, no, that's obviously not going to work. Maybe I should, smile at him from across the table? Either he hasn't noticed us yet, or the smile isn't working. We may be in some serious trouble. Let's mess with the cake. Must resist urge to sample cake. Come on, Ivy, you know human food doesn't sit well with your stomach. Maybe I could make it, magic it up a little to make it less delicious. Abracadabra! A whole new cake magically replaces the old one, complete with freshly lit candles. Ah, now it's even more irresistible than ever. Curse my instinctual moth-like attraction to deadly flames. Alright, so we can make more cake. But she mentioned the cake, which makes me think we have to do that. I don't know what else I could honestly do. I mean, we talked about making the fish, right? The whole time's up, hit the road thing would be a lot more charming if this was a cuckoo clock instead. It could have a little pair of doors built into the clock face, and one of those little mechanical birds could pop out and scream at you, or whatever it is that birds do. Like, it could go caw, caw, or maybe hoo 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 hoo. Or even, oh, I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Birds go in the human world too, right? That's not just a fairyland thing. Alright, fingers crossed that works for us. Okay, let's see if I can guess what Felix and Hilda are doing without looking. I'm guessing they're standing around awkwardly, unable to have a proper conversation, despite everything it's taken to get them here. I think that's them in the mezzanine, so if I listen real close, then maybe... This silverware sure is very silver. Yes, it's made of silver, so that's probably why... Yeah, score 1 for Ivy. Wait, no, this is bad. What do you got to tell me? Trouble in the mezzanine. Oof, that's awkward. Looks like Minuet finally caught up with Felix and that fake princess who's been flirting with him for the last hour. Attempting to flirt, anyway. The girl's really in for it now. Sneaking around beneath Minuet's nose does not make for a best first impression. Though I guess there's always room for a better second impression. Maybe she could rescue the prince from a band of marauding pirates, or save him from being poisoned. Oh, okay. He may look cold and severe, but underneath, Minuet's a huge sucker for those sort of noble and romantic gestures. Which, considering the sorts of people he's always stuck dealing with, might explain why he's usually in such a bad mood. Terrible condiments. Only another 15 dinners to go before we finally manage to use all our supply of Old Sauce and Howard's homestyle sugarless jam. I don't mind it the first 5 or 6 times, but after several straight months of the castle pantry containing no other condiments, I'm getting a little tired of garlic. Fortunately, we've concluded our contract with that provisioner who sold us all that jam. Some new sauces should be on their way from Totally Real at this very moment. And most critically, Prince at Maxi will absolutely never be allowed anywhere near the castle's supply chain ever again. But it's not all bad, I suppose. I know Prince Felix loves to put garlic on pretty much everything, so at least he's been happy, though the royal poison taster may be less so. Castle problems. While I'm already venting, I have to confess, I really wish they'd built Castle Elifnor anywhere other than along a boat sink strait. It's damp, the salty air has never really agreed with me, and I feel like everything rusts twice as fast here as it does inland. And on top of that, you've got all the killer squids and the pirates and the seagulls. Really makes you wonder what Queen Incipia saw in this place when she chose to build her castle here. I mean, aside from the cheap real estate with great waterfront views. Okay, so it's giving me ideas of what we can do in the future. Opening the window will allow the salty air as well as the seagull sounds, and that might help make Hilda feel better and more at home. But if we mess with the jars here, it might look like, oh no, don't put that poison on your food, Prince. Maybe. What's the scoop, Hilda? Anything interesting happened while I was out? I was getting discovered by the Archminister. Interesting? A little too interesting. That guy really has it out for you, huh? I don't want to complain, but it just feels unfair that he's so opposed to me and Felix being together when he's never even met me. Yeah, seriously, all he knows about you is that you've stolen someone else's identity, snuck into the castle uninvited to cozy up to Felix, and may have managed to elude the grasp of all of his guards. That's pretty much nothing. I've worked with way sketchier fake princesses before. I mean, you wouldn't believe what Helvetia got up to 2 kingdoms over with just a comb and a pair of crabs. I feel like if I could just prove to him that I'm not trying to hurt Felix, maybe I could change his mind. Well, if you think you can come up with that something within the next, 5 minutes, because I think that's about how long you have until this party ends and Minwit throws you in the dungeon. Is it that late already? Oh no, and just when I thought things couldn't get worse. Oh, things could definitely get worse, like every living soul in the castle sliced open by a levitating sword worse. Not that I've seen anything like that, of course. Particularly not here or tonight or... Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go get that clock ready to warp. Yeah, there's, An unexpected consequence of spending a dozen or so consecutive hours in perpetual midnight, I'm really starting to miss sunlight. This must be what it's like to be a cave troll, fumbling aimlessly through the labyrinthine darkness, your every step carrying you further and further from the light. Purple? You got it. Bam. I like how the purple looks. Some of the colors really don't show up that well. Because I've got a... It's a green blackout curtain. I really need to swap it out for like a white one. That'll make the color really like show up a lot more. But purple usually comes through pretty well. I technically have more rope of the string lights there. I wonder if I should try to like have some of it go across in front of me here to kind of like put more of that colored light on me or something. My desk lights are the same way on some colors. Yeah, like I'll put it back to purple, but I'll just show you really quick. Which color is it that usually, like, just doesn't show up well enough? I think it's this one. So this one is meant to be green, but it appears to be more blue than green for some reason. And I think it's a mixture of various factors. Back to purple, though. If I were a cave troll, though, it'd be like 50 times larger and carrying around a giant axe, and I'd feel like I'd solve most of my problems a lot faster that way. Okay, so... firstly, we want to make this look like poison. Then we'll get him into the room here, and then we'll get him into the actual, like, mezzanine area. But then what else should I change? We get one more thing that we can mess with. I don't think we've ever messed with this before. We might as well just kind of see what this does. Lemonade, huh? Well, I don't know what a monade is, but pompous foreign beverages do seem typical of le bourgeois. Let's see if a little magic can't bring the refreshments back down to a tolerable level of pretentiousness. Release! The liquid in the pitcher turns green. The label now reads absinthe. Oh. No idea what that is either, but somehow I get the feeling it's even more ostentatious than it was before. And based on the alcohol fumes it's giving off, way more flammable. Uh-oh. Oh-ho, what's this? I'd thought this glass full of pleasant, albeit rather bland lemonade, and yet now it appears to have filled itself to the brim with absinthe, the most potent of elixirs. A welcome surprise, though I must admit that this sort of apparently supernatural transubstantiation worries me somewhat. But on the other hand, a few sips of undiluted absinthe does wonders to ease one's concerns. Oh, so maybe that's what I was supposed to do. If he's a little less on edge, then maybe he'll see the act of, like, saving the prince from eating garlic will work. If you guessed another nail in the coffin of my objective perception of the flow of time, you're correct. Here we go. Fingers crossed. And just like that, the party's over. Kinda unfortunate that despite single-handedly being responsible for this party being able to happen in the first place, I'll never actually get to enjoy it. All the dancing, which I can't do because I'm 3 inches tall, the catering, which, being a fairy, I can't eat, the conversations that I've heard most of already via eavesdropping, well, I'd guess I'd at least have been able to enjoy the watered-down lemonade, assuming I ended up in a timeline where there's still lemonade. Nothing new there. Hi, Hilda. Trying to charm Minwit with your winsome smile again? Yes. And how's Felix? Laid low by the irreconcilable clash between his desire to express himself freely and his fear of Minwit? Pretty much. Feel like you could use a do-over? More than anything. Say no more, Hilda. One magical do-over coming right up. Or 2 do-overs, or 2 dozen. However many you need, really. At this point, what's another drop in the forbidden magic bucket? Why didn't that work? Unless my admittedly failing eyesight deceives me, that Brynhilde girl has managed to make contact with the prince after all. Such audacity. Perhaps I should focus less on throwing her in the dungeon, and more on scouting her for our own stable of spies instead. To have made it this far past my defenses, her powers of charm, persuasion, guile must be remarkably keen. This table. Big table, huh? Yes, it's perhaps the biggest table in the castle. I was thinking it was pretty big, you know, for a table. Yes, it's actually a bit hard to walk around. I could tell you about the second biggest table if you want. Sure, tables are great. No, on second thought, the dungeon it is. Okay. I think the absinthe works better with, like, doing the, making her feel at home version of things. I think that's what we'll strive for, because I don't know... Like, we can figure things out. It's fine. Here we are in the past, and it's exactly the same as it was the last, what, 24 times? I know that's better than the alternative where all my problems just stick around unsolved forever, but I sure would love to see the future for a change. What is it like at 2 instead of 1? How is the weather going to be in the morning? Is that shipment of collectible wooden figurines I ordered 2 months ago finally going to arrive? Am I ever going to get to eat breakfast? Alright, we'll save the absinthe in case we have a free one at the end, but I know we need to do this first. And we need to make the music faster. And then we need the window lock open. And that should cause the wind to burst through when the goddess statue is broken. So then, yes, let's get him drunk on absinthe. Apropos of nothing, if I ever make enough fairy dollars to buy my own cottage, I'll definitely want to get myself a fancy timepiece to decorate with. Something elegant like, oh, I don't know, a giant ornamental hourglass, or maybe one of those candles with lines to indicate the hours. Oh, or a sundial, or a mechanical orrery, or literally anything that isn't a grandfather clock. Good news, maybe? After everything we went through together, I'm kind of starting to miss my 1 in the morning chats with the baleful blade of blood murder. Sure, I've got Hilda to chat with now, but the blade really got me, you know? Guess I'll just have to pretend for now. Why, top of the evening to you, my little green friend. Back to take a little poke around on things, are you? A little jaunt about the grounds, am I right? Gosh, and that reminds me, did you know I'm doing research and trying your best is, in fact, morally good? Did you know that, one friend? Because I sure didn't. Just full of surprises, life is. Also full of blood, haha. But I reckon you already knew that on account of me having spilled and drank everyone's already. Funny how that works, isn't it? Okay, in hindsight, I don't miss it that much. The girl with the prince, the open window, the broken statue. Isn't that girl across the table the fake princess Minuet's been hunting for? Doesn't strike me as a menace to society, but I suppose looks can be deceiving. While I do strive to further the Archminister goals as a faithful member of the court, I really don't feel like getting involved with this drama right now. It's probably just a big misunderstanding anyway. If she, Felix, and Minuet would just get together and talk it out for once, I'm sure they'd have things sorted out in 10 minutes, maybe less. I swear people these days and their poor communication skills. If everyone were as rational and easygoing as me, we'd have the world peace by now. Would we? Look, I get that the ventilation in the Great Hall isn't the greatest, but would it kill folks to just not leave windows hanging wide open? It's hard enough to keep this place warm, even without a draft blowing through it, and I'm less than inclined to throw on a second shoulder cape just because someone wanted a little fresh air. Besides, an open window at night is just asking for something unsavory to swoop in and spoil the party, maybe a bat or a juvenile dragon, or worse still. A seagull. I don't care if they are Eclipse's national bird. Those beady-eyed scavengers give me the creeps. And I still haven't forgiven them for stealing my fish sandwich when I was 9. We need to make the food, the fish, for a seagull to come in. If there's two things I can't stand, it's litter and the desecration of religious iconography. So isn't it just my luck that the partygoers in the ballroom managed to commit both in the span of a single hour? It's going to take me weeks to replace the statue of Linera that those dancers smashed, and I doubt Linera's mood is going to mellow out in the meantime. If there's a third thing I can't stand, it's facing divine retribution in the form of various weather-related catastrophes. Oh, that and cilantro. Maybe I should start keeping a list. How goes it, Hilda? Very badly, obviously, but let's workshop out some of those adverbs. Give me a thorough breakdown here. I don't know what I was thinking coming here. I'm just a fishmonger from boring old Waterport, not a fancy princess from some tropical island. Totally Real is actually on the border between temperate and frigid zones. The whole tropical thing is just a popular misconception. But, point taken. I spent most of my life talking to seagulls. I can't deal with all these unspoken rules and traditions. We need to save him from a seagull attack. That's what it's gonna be. How am I supposed to know what to call the wife of the child of a baronet, or the proper way to shake hands while bowing, or how you're even supposed to pronounce Demesne? I don't know how to pronounce it. It's all too much. And that's why you should cast off all pretenses of adhering to social conventions, just like me. That's a pretty reasonable response. Anyway, I take it things aren't going well and you'd like me to fix it, yeah? More or less, but is there anything that can be done at this point? Not at this point, but hey, there's a lot of other points out there too. I'm sure things work out for you in one of them. Okay, okay. Let's do everything the same that I did before. Trouble at the ball? Not on my watch. Wait, have the humans even invented watches yet? How about, it may not be daylight, but it's definitely time for me to save. Wait, I mean, saving, or time for me to be doing some saving? Saving of the day or night? Nailed it. Okay, this should work. Fingers crossed. Time to see the results of loop number 14. What fresh chaos could have erupted this time in the hour that I've been out? Did the someone get lost trying to find the latrine? Has that clumsy couple finally learned how to dance? Did the Countess turn into a bat and fly off into the night with the minister in her clutches? At this point, I don't think anything could surprise me. Oh, that's weird. The atmosphere in here feels not terrible for once. Guess that is kind of surprising, but not unwelcome. Alright, let's hurry and check in with Hilda. I've got a good feeling about this one. That gull on the table. A seagull indoors. Not that that doesn't already happen on a daily basis, but now of all times. And what's more, that gull is dangerously close to the prince and ravenous with hunger. What if it plucked out one of his eyes or bit him on the finger? It'd be a national tragedy. And also, it's dangerously close to the main courses, and I still haven't had a chance to go back for thirds. Uninvited seagull. An audacious seagull that has stolen a fish from this evening's catering and is now in the middle of eating it whole. A truly shocking display of bad dinner etiquette, almost as bad as using the wrong fork for a salad. Are those two having a normal conversation? This I've got to hear first. Squawk, squawk, squawk. Aw, who's a cute little fella? Is it you? Squawk? It is you! Oh, you're such a sweetie. Look at your little beady eyes and your webbed feet. That bird is not going to bite you, is it? Oh, Felix, don't worry. I've domesticated dozens of seagulls, and they usually don't draw blood. That sounds somehow even more concerning, but I'll take that into consideration. But more than that, I'm just glad you don't mind it. Normally, I'd be mortified if a wild animal flew in through a window and started eating off the table. Actually, I'm still mortified. You know, back home in Waterport. Well, you've been to Waterport before. I'm sure you remember our seagull situation. Flying and pooping everywhere, eating everything in sight, squawking at all hours. When I was growing up, reading my books about distant castles and royalty, I could never imagine a seagull in those castles. It just seemed impossible. I couldn't imagine myself there, living in that pristine, perfect world, without a seagull dropping in sight. But now that I'm here, it's not as perfect as I thought it'd be, really. It's messy, the people are a little strange, and it turns out there's a seagull here after all. And just to be clear, that's a good thing. For once I feel at ease here, together with you. Like I don't have to pretend I'm something I'm not. Although, in case anyone asks, I'm still Princess Brynhilda for the rest of the evening. I'm really glad to hear that, Hilda. More than anything, I wanted you to feel welcome here. I know this place can be stifling at times, but I'd hope that even if just for one night, I could make it feel something like home. I know it's not much next to the gull, of course, but I did pick some of the decorations for the night with you in mind. The paintings, for instance, you had mentioned you enjoyed comedy. That's why there were clown pictures up. You mentioned in one of your letters that you liked to laugh, so I put clown pictures everywhere. And the still life with the skull over there. Which, upon further consideration, probably isn't all that much like a seashell. Oh, Felix, it's the thought that counts. You know, you and me, we do come from very different worlds, but that's not really a problem, is it? No, I don't think so either. There's much about life beyond the castle with which I'm still unfamiliar, but those are things I wish to learn. I had this thought that I'd give you a rose and we'd dance by candlelight or the like something out of a book, but I think perhaps I've been too preoccupied with my own preconceived notions of how things should be. So if I may, do you have a preference, Hilda? Felix, right now a dance by candlelight sounds perfect. Is that finally it? Yes, I think it is. I'd call that Hilda's second wish very successfully granted. Oh, the council's gonna be in for a shock when I file my report. Everything turned out perfectly. No, it did not. With the singular exception of the 14 time loops it took to get here, but no one could prove that in court. Now, before we get to wish number 3, I've still got a few items to cross off my agenda, namely check in with Hilda, kick back, and bask in the glory of my success. Hey Hilda, how's it going? Ivy, you made it back. Of course I did. After all that work, you'd think I'd go and skip the after party? Speaking of which, congrats Hilda, your wish finally came true. Aw, thanks Ivy. You know, I couldn't have done it without your help. You really have no idea. So, what's up next for this magical evening? You've still got one wish, you know. I was going to ask you the same question. Everything tonight happened so fast. From certain points of view, anyway. It seems like just yesterday that Felix and I started exchanging letters, and now... Oh, what do you think I should do next, Ivy? I don't want to let this moment go to waste, but I'm not sure I'm ready for things to be moving this quickly yet. According to tradition, this is the part where... on second thoughts, forget tradition. This evening belongs to the two of you, and I've stuck my nose into it enough already. What do you feel like doing, Hilda? Take things at whatever speed you like. In that case, Felix and I were going to go dance together in a couple minutes, and I was hoping we could just spend some time talking after. Would you mind terribly if it were another half hour or so? Half an hour, 2 hours, however long you need. And when you're ready to make your wish or head home or whatever else you want to do, I'll be out front with the horse and carriage. It'll be pretty obvious which ones are yours. The horse and carriage, I forgot. She took a mouse and she took a pumpkin. And she made them into horse and carriage. But the mouse is the carriage and the pumpkin is the horse. And they both look horrendous and scary and out of a book of nightmares. Oh, you're the best, Ivy. I won't keep you waiting long, I promise. Don't sweat it. At this point, any sequence of finite linear time sounds pretty great to me. So this is what it feels like to succeed. Gotta say, I could get used to this. I know I shouldn't officially begin basking in my success until I've completed Hilda's third wish as well, but just a little couldn't hurt. I mean, it's the end of the story, right? Hilda and Felix are finally together, all the loose ends are nicely tied up, and all that's left is for them to all live happily ever... Hold that thought just a minute, Ivy. Kinda wish you'd stop just appearing from thin air like that. My apologies, but I had to hurry over the moment I saw that you'd managed to bridge that gap between our star-crossed lovers. Speaking of which, congratulations, it only took you 15 attempts to set things right. Less than a full day. Not bad. Not bad at all. I do hope the Fairy Council is paying you overtime. 14 attempts, actually. That first one doesn't count. But yeah, either way, it looks like things are finally fixed. The two of them have finally managed to have a decent, earnest conversation with each other. Even Minuet can't beat emotional honesty. And you're most welcome for all the assistance. Wasn't thanking you, but sure. I'm real glad you helped me fix the series of contrived problems that you caused in the first place. But of course, it's been my pleasure. Now then, it's time we began the next act of our story. Next act? You mean the denouement, right? The part where everything gets wrapped up tidily and they all live happily ever after? Oh, Ivy, you sweet, innocent creature. You're not talking about the denouement, are you? How to explain this? A story is like a seesaw, if you will. It's fun going up, and it's fun going down, but where's the fun standing still? It's a thing of perpetual motion, Ivy, and our lovers here have reached the top of the seesaw. You know what has to happen next. I'm not hurting Hilda. Hurt? Oh, let's not put it into such ugly terms. It'd only be for a short while. Once she and Felix reach the bottom, we'll send them right back up again. First, I'll engineer some manner of calamity to split the two up, maybe leaving behind a single glass slipper, and then we let them stew in their angst for an evening or three. And once we've got the audience by the heartstrings, you swoop in with a contrived but previously foreshadowed chain of coincidences to reunite our lovers, and we can move into that denouement just like you wanted. There'll be a grand wedding, everyone will laugh and or cry, and my literary triumph will be enshrined in the history books of Eclic for all time. A wedding? But they've pretty much just met. Oh, don't fret the details, that's just genre convention for you. Is it really a fairy tale romance if it doesn't end in hastily arranged teenage marriage? Now let's get started, shall we? We have a dreadfully busy evening ahead of us, after all. Wait, I didn't say I'd... Yet, contrary to what they'd planned, calamity was near at hand. For though it seemed she'd got her wish, poor Hilda did become a... Nish? Fish. Hilda, are you okay? Yes, why do you ask? Is there something on my face? There's something on my face, isn't there? Well, not exactly, but if you're feeling alright, I suppose this is fine. Hilda? That was a lot more calamitous in my head. Guess the old reverse mermaid trick isn't quite enough to punctuate the third act. But it's no matter. We're no strangers to iteration, are we, Ivy? I'm sure I'll get it right the second time. By chance, do you know anything that might rhyme with heap of ash? Heap of ash? I I can't do this. Isn't there some other story you could tell? One that doesn't involve making Hilda miserable? Well, I admit my first choice of premise was actually enemies to lovers supernatural love triangle. Those are pretty trendy these days, you know. But if you hadn't noticed, the local vampires aren't exactly protagonist material, so I went with modern remake of a classic fairy tale instead. And frankly, I don't see why you're so concerned about this. If everything ultimately turns out well for Hilda and Felix, do you suppose they'll really care what they had to endure to get there? Even so, And besides, Ivy, just think what the Fairy Council will say when they see what you've accomplished. The perfect happily ever after. With a feat like that under your belt, surely no one could begrudge you in your past failures? And we both know there have been plenty of those, haven't there? I'll take your silence as concession. Now then, I think it's time for you to leave. What was that? I don't seem to recall listing that as an option. Hilda and Felix, they deserve the chance to let their relationship develop on their own terms. No cursed swords, no meddling guards, and no minister, and no script. Even if things don't work out for them, from here on, that's up to the two of them. Not you and me. It's such a nuisance when characters go and develop a mind of their own. They're always so terribly boring. Snap. What did you just... Oh, did you think you were the only one who could turn back time? I've just returned us to 1 in the morning, and I shall continue to do as many times as necessary until I work out the perfect Act 3 climax. Not if I have anything to say about it. And as it would happen, you don't. Though I do hate intruding upon the narrative, it's evident that if I want to get anything done here, I'll have to do it myself, and thus your services are no longer necessary. Honestly, I was not I thought we reached the end of the game. Plot twist for sure. Who knew the godlike narrator would take over and say, you know what, let's get this a more exciting ending. Now stay put, keep quiet, and above all else, don't meddle with anything. I'm quite serious about this. Do you know how much concentration it takes to come up with these little magical rhymes on the spot? Concentration which is rather hard to muster with you flitting around sprinkling pixie dust on everything. Just keep out of my hair for about 4 minutes and I'll have this story set back on the right path again. It's for your own good, you know, it's for everyone's own good. He's not ready to end it. He isn't. Yeah, I'm not listening to any of that. This story ends here, and if I have to fight the author to make that happen, then I guess I'm fighting him. He may have a magic book, but beneath all the delusions of grandeur, he's still just some guy, and I can mess with him the same way I've messed with everyone else around here tonight. Just hang in there a little longer, Hilda. I know I may have gotten you into this mess, but I swear I'll get you out. My assumption is that we will need to set something on fire. The absinthe is very flammable. Are there any new things to meddle with? It's technically the end of stream, but I wonder if I can, like, figure this out right now. I will attempt one instance here, and if it doesn't work, then we'll have to finish this game on Tuesday. We can further meddle with the feast. I don't see any value in messing with the cake. But yeah, they mentioned that the absinthe was flammable. Disarmingly handsome storyteller of incomparable renown and equal brilliance. Look, I'm just being honest here. I know nothing I say is going to stop you, but isn't this way too much effort for just one story? It's not just one story, it's my grand comeback into Elclick's literary scene. I once had legions of dedicated readers throughout every city in Eclick. The admiration of the masses, glory fit for a king. And yet over the last couple centuries, my works have fallen into obscurity, remembered only by boring old coots like that Arch Minister. But when word spreads of the miracles worked at Castle Elifnor, and of the mind that brought them, my name will once more be upon the lips of every soul in this kingdom. Wouldn't it be faster to just go around showing people that you're some kind of immortal wizard? I feel like that's a lot more impressive than some mediocre fairy tale plagiarist who can barely even rhyme. Contrary to popular belief, the immortal wizard industry is actually much more competitive than you'd imagine. Not a lot of job openings when nobody ever retires. And don't even get me started on plagiarist. Kerpow. The liquid turns into absinthe. Well, now you're drunk. If we make this sunflower, they will probably move. Nope, that did not make her want to move. I'm glad the seagull at least enjoyed the whole raw fish, but maybe we can come up with something more in line with human tastes. Voila! Savory baked goods. Human-like bread, right? I mean, why else would they make so much of it? That is, unless it's like those little green plants they put on plates, where it's just there to look nice, and it's weird if you actually eat it. Or maybe human bread is really just terrible, and they've spent the last few thousand years trying to invent one that's remotely edible. All equally plausible explanations. Oh, it has a baguette. Looks like I've got one more thing I can meddle with. I can further meddle with the rusty window that's open. I don't know how much that would, like, do for us, though. But, you know what, let's just do it to see what happens. Looks like no one's been around to replace the lock on the window in the hour or so since I disintegrated it into rust. Talk about a lax maintenance standards. It's like they're not even trying to account for weathering due to supernatural intervention. Guess I'll do it myself. Zap! Magically closes and welds itself shut. Problem solved. No way that window's opening up again. Not without a wizard or a sledgehammer anyway. Maybe the royal family should hire me for all their home repairs. Ahem. Our couple chatted thus a while, and Hilda could not hide her smile. But whoa, that smile turned to frown when Hilda's life turned upside down. Oh, she's speaking in reverse. Felix. Thank you for the lovely evening, Felix. Hilda, I mean no offense, but is your voice alright? My mouth does feel kind of weird. Was it something I ate? I'm going to take that as a no. But don't worry, the royal physician probably has something that can cure this. If only they made mirrors you could use with your ears. They're not looking as broken up about this as I'd expected. Of course, I was also expecting something more along the lines of a reversal of gravity, or a sudden arranged marriage, or being forced to move across the kingdom to live with her aunt and uncle. We'll just have to be a little bit more specific next time. Really, this gull? Oh, great, so the gull's eating all the good stuff, and nobody's doing anything about it. Just fantastic. I go through all the trouble of budgeting and arranging supplies for tonight's feast, and now all that work is just going down some bird's gullet. Why did it have to come and spoil our feast? Why couldn't it have just stayed outside and caught its own fish, or whatever its seagulls do in the wild? I mean, it's not like it can even appreciate the quality. Gulls will eat pretty much anything. Fish, bread, fruit, you name it. Oh! We need to weld the window shut and then turn the basket of candy into fruit to get the seagull into the ballroom. I've heard seagulls will even eat people if they get the chance, though I suppose it'd have to be a very large seagull. I made the mistake of trying to browse through Minuit's collection of classics by the stairway earlier this evening, and I will not be making that mistake again. Sat through enough of that literary detritus back when I was his student, and there are some real duds in that pile of books, like the Lays of Plum and Omd. I've never beheld anyone so terrible at rhyming, nor as single-mindedly obsessed with it in his poetry. The number of times that man tried to write a round ending a sentence with orange. And don't even get me started on the plotting in half his stories. It's like the characters go around expositing themselves just so other characters can conveniently eavesdrop on them. As if anyone would ever do that. I mean, talk about terrible writing. Oh, but these are fruit in this current timeline. So maybe I don't change the food so it leaves that room? Okay, but we will have to finish this game on Tuesday. I have some ideas of what we could do, but for right now we will have to just hold off.